Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave, Yelena Belova. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, we continue looking at the Marvel Legends Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave. As in front of me, we have Yelena Belova. And without even opening her up, I already have a love-hate relationship with this figure, as I appreciate the addition of the character. However, I think the figure itself is going to be a little bit lackluster, and we shall explore and explain as we open her up. But there she is in the packaging. Once again, this wave hasn't hit the UK yet. This is another one we found on Amazon Germany, but the wave is starting to appear in the US, so I'm sure these will be all over the place in no time. But as I said, there she is, Avengers logo, picture of the comics on the side, digital render on the back. She does come with a nice array of accessories and the Build-A-Figure for the Puff Adder. There he is in his entirety, the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure. And then there we have a list of all the figures in the wave you will need to build him. Today we're looking at Yelena Belova. So as I said, let's waste no time before my voice gives in and get her open. And here we have Yelena Belova out of the packaging with all of her accessories. So we have this little array of weaponry, effect pieces, and interchangeable hands. And then of course we have the big Puff Adder Build-A-Figure chest. So you know what to do, subscribe to the channel and come back, as once we have all of the pieces for this Serpent Society member, we will of course build and review him on the channel. But not today, however. So let me move that to the side. Today, let's focus on Yelena, or Yelena, it's one of the two. Now, she's not standing very ladylike. Her legs are quite far apart. I would like them to stand a little bit more neutral. But let me get the tape measure out. She is about just over 6 inches tall. Now, I think the criticism with this figure isn't going to be the character design or the character choice. It's going to be the body mold that they chose for this figure. It's going to make it very limiting, especially when you're giving us those big guns to hold. So before we start breaking all that down, let me first try and give you a little bit of detail about the actual character design this figure represents. Yelena Belova was another Black Widow trained by the Red Room Academy, the same as Natasha Romanoff. This Marvel Legend figure represents her look while working with AIM, first seen in 2013's Secret Avengers Volume 2, Number 2. She was given the powers of the Super Adaptoid and was tasked with destroying the Avengers. So starting off at the head sculpt, as this is the unique character design element to this version of Yelena, as she has that sort of 6 red glowing eyes spy mask across her face, and then she has the very much washed out pale skin tone, which is done intentionally, as during this time in the comics, AIM are regenerating her body after she was like burnt by Sauron in the Savage Land. So that is accurate as well. The black lipstick has like a crooked smile, which again I think is intentional, and then she has her trademark blonde hair. Now the mask itself is done in like a sort of metallic-y gunmetal grey, so it does glimmer underneath the lights there, and then the red is just very much a flat red, but you can still see all the sort of eyes there on the mask. The hair design is sort of imitating what you see on certain comic panels. It is close enough for me where if I look at it on the shelf, I'm not going to challenge it. I do think it's a pretty decent representation of this version of Yelena. Now with Marvel Legends hair, always very limiting looking up, but it is on a disc and hinge, so you will get some rotation in there. But let me just look at the hair real quick. My lights do create shadows and whatnot, but I do think there may be a little bit of a subtle wash there. But as you can see, a unique hair sculpt flaring out over both of the shoulders, so you will be able to get a looking left and looking right, and burying the chin of course on the disc and hinge, but looking up is where it's going to get limiting because the hair will just hit the back. But overall, the head sculpt not bad at all. Looking at the rest of Yelena, the costume design is quite simplistic, which is usually the case with Black Widow costume designs. So she's wearing black from the neck all the way down to her toes. The only drip of colour is actually on her harness and sort of belt piece, which is one solid piece that goes round here. If we zoom in a little bit, you can actually see, I'm happy to report, it's an actual working holster. I hate when you get like molded guns or holsters that don't work. So at least that is a holster that is going to be able to work. She has the straps going around the thigh there. And then you do have a little bit of colour punched in with the buckles and the chrome. And then you have the red Black Widow logo on the belt buckle as well. So yeah, that is your only colour you're going to get on this whole figure, is this harness. You do have some pouches as well, sculpted on the side and then round on the back as well. So overall, harness, no problem with that at all. The rest of the figure is just the black female Marvel Legend base body. Is it the right body for Yelena Belova? Absolutely not. For some reason, we are still dealing with single jointed elbows. Not good enough, unfortunately. I do think for a character like Yelena, who literally comes with big weapons, you need double jointed elbows to utilize a more natural looking pose. So this just makes it very limiting and frustrating for people that want to take pictures or just pose them up a little bit more dynamically on the shelf. Now, I did take this concern to the source themselves and told Dan Yoon in person, face to face at MCM in October. Roll the clip.
I just have to say this on behalf of the community. Yelena is great, but we needed that shriek body. She's got guns.
I understand.
A big gun as well. She needed that double elbow.
I know, I totally understand. I mean, Dwight, if he was here, he would say the same thing, but he knows that that body is wanted on every single one of our female figures.
It's his own fault for making it.
Yeah.
No sympathy. No sympathy.
I understand. So we'll take it on the chin.
Okay.
But I think she still comes with some awesome accessories.
There's lots of weapons, yeah.
And if you ever wanted a comic version of Yelena, that's the one to get.
So obviously I said that in a sort of playful manner, as I know it's not Dan Yoon's sole decision, but at least he can hear the message and take that into a place where our concerns will be heard. As I'm sure a decision was made down the line for Yelena to not have the double jointed elbows, and we just don't know why. We don't understand why. So that is very disappointing. She does have all the other sort of standard range of articulation you'd expect with the shoulder joints and the sort of, as I said, double jointed knees. She does have pins in the knees, but the pins ain't something I'm going to harp out on about, especially on an all black body. You don't really even notice. She can kick her own ass, but we are dealing with the sort of jelly leg issue here. So yeah, be careful. We may have a case of jelly leg Yelena. So I actually may try, not that we should have to do this, which again is frustrating, but my own decision, of course, I may try and swap this body out with a Shriek body and see if I can take that harness off without sort of damaging it. So we shall see, because as I said, no complaints with the harness and head. It's just the wrong body choice. If this was the Shriek body, I do think I'd be a lot happier with what we get here, because her accessories are nice. She comes with a set of fisted hands and a set of trigger finger hands. Now the left just has regular side to side motion, but the right one does have an up and down hinge for those more natural looking gun shooting poses. In regards to weaponry, this is all she comes with. She comes with a big rifle, which does have a beige sort of handle. Now, I'm not too sure if we've seen this before or not. If we have, let me know in the comments. That also comes with a strap. She has two pistols, one with the silencer attached, and then two blast effects and two smoke effects that will plug into all three of the guns. There we have Yelena holding some of the guns with the blast effects in, of course. Now, again, the single jointed elbows does make it very limiting, but I do always appreciate options for the shelf all the same. I'm assuming that the gun with the actual silencer on can go into the harness as well. Absolutely it can, as it has a hole at the bottom for the silencer to stick out. So yeah, the harness does work with the silencer pistol. There we go. So I'm trying to get her to hold this rifle in a somewhat natural pose, but those single jointed elbows do make it very frustrating work, as you just can't get her to look naturally. So that's the best I can do here, people. So yeah, there she is holding the rifle. Annoyingly, it has a big scope on, so you want to hold it right up to the eye. But again, it's just those single jointed bloody elbows. I like the character design. I like the character choice. I just don't like the choice in the Marvel Legends body. The rifle also has the strap that you can attach onto it, and then you can use that to actually harness it onto her back. So she can equip herself with all her weaponry ready for a mission. So she's holding a gun, she's got a gun holstered, and then she has the bigger rifle attached to the back. And that is probably how I'll get her posed up on the shelf. I do always like it when you can display a figure with all their accessories. Moving into comparisons, first up, of course, it had to be Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. And to be honest, we have yet to get a great version of Black Widow in Marvel Legends form, as they all suffer from some type of limitation in regards to the body type or articulation or lack of accessories or head sculpt. Hopefully in 2023 we get a nice upgraded Marvel Legend Black Widow worthy of our display. What's more frustrating about Yelena though is that she comes out in a time where we know the double jointed elbow exists and they still didn't give it us. So yeah, very frustrating. In an ideal world, I'd love like a great Black Widow, and also a great White Widow is when Yelena obviously became a good guy and started helping out and they started to team up. A Black Widow and a White Widow for the display would be great, thanks. For anybody wondering, here she is next to that Shriek body we keep talking about, and as you can see, they scale about the same height as well, so I do think that body would have been a perfect fit. Let me try a quick head swap, and would you look at that? The head pops onto the Shriek body, no problem at all. And to be honest, I think this is where she's going to end up in my display. With AIM. It was the Scientist Supreme AIM soldier that turned her into the super adaptoid in the first place, and there's plenty of comic panels where you'll see her leading a team of AIM soldiers as well. So I just think she's going to be a nice addition to that ever-growing team. Of course you need MODOK as well, but yeah, she's going to end up with my AIM soldiers, I think. Here we have some more characters that were involved in that Secret Avengers storyline, as we have Taskmaster, who I believe was training the AIM soldiers, and then we have Mockingbird, who was part of the Secret Avengers. And then here we have Maria Hill and Quake, who I believe were both the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point or other during that run. And obviously they both have the double jointed elbows and they just wanted to rub that in Yelena's face. Here we have the 80th Cap and the Mark 70 Iron Man. Here we have Wolverine and the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And then here we have the two other figures in this Marvel Legends Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave that I have already reviewed on the channel, with Orb and Wonder Man, who I both liked a lot more in hand than I expected to. So this wave is going to hit America any day now, I am sure, but it was nice to get an early look at these. Thanks, Amazon. Here we have Frogman, Tigra and White Rabbit. And then last, but definitely not least, Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave, Yelena Belova, aka Super Adaptoid. Now, I've said it already, I'll say it again, I'm not mad at the character choice here, and I'm not mad at the character design. I actually like the look of her from that run during Secret Avengers. She's going to add a nice bit of variety to our ever-expanding AIM setup on the shelf, next to some AIM soldiers, the AIM Supreme Scientist, and even MODOK. So I'm happy to have her. What I'm not happy about is the actual female body they chose to represent this character. She's a very dynamic character that comes with weaponry, so you want to get her posed up a little bit dynamically on the shelf, and this body is going to be very frustrating and limiting, no denying that. So that's what frustrates me. I want to like this figure more than I actually do, so it's disappointing. But as always, I'm not telling you what to like, I'm not telling you what not to like. What I am telling you though, if you like Marvel Legends, then you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and I'm on Twitter as well. Don't be shy, tweet me at Dan Who Reviews, and until then people, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.